This company's HR literally banned people from blinking too much because they thought frequent blinking meant employees weren't focused on work. They created a memo about appropriate blink rates and actually monitored how often people's eyes closed during the day. When an employee asked if this was real, HR got defensive and said eye contact was essential for productivity. During my time working there, someone got fired for arriving exactly on time because HR considered it not early enough. Being on time apparently meant you were lazy. Being 5 minutes early was the bare minimum acceptable standard. The CEO's tardiness was never an issue because she was important. I watched HR implement a rule where employees had to wear name tags showing their job title, salary range, and years of employment so everyone knew the hierarchy constantly. Mixing between departments somehow threatened the organizational structure. When someone asked why this was necessary, HR said transparency prevented confusion. An absolute nightmare happened when HR decided all employees needed to meditate together every morning for 30 minutes whether they believed in meditation or not. Atheists had to participate in what was essentially a spiritual practice they didn't support. When people opted out, HR marked them as unwilling to improve themselves. My coworker's nightmare began when our HR team started weighing employees monthly and documenting their weight changes claiming it was about health. They'd publicly announce who gained weight and who lost it. When someone complained this violated privacy, HR said health was a company concern. This was completely insane. HR created a policy forbidding people from saying the word no at work because it was too negative for company culture. Employees had to find creative ways to decline requests or disagree with anything. Saying no once resulted in a disciplinary meeting about language choices. One day HR announced that smiling was now being tracked through security cameras and fed into performance reviews. Employees who didn't smile enough were considered having bad attitudes. When questioned how smiling related to actual job performance, HR said morale affected everything. I'm still shocked that our HR department decided to control what color clothes people wore based on their job level. Interns wore one color, regular employees another, managers a third color. It was like a weird corporate caste system announced through wardrobe requirements. Here's the kicker: HR banned people from sitting down during work because standing supposedly increased productivity by 30%. This statistic came from nowhere. Even desk workers who sat for their entire job had to stand up half the time per HR mandate. Someone's entire career got derailed because HR decided they didn't smile authentically enough in their employee ID photo. A 6-month review marked them down because their smile didn't look genuine. They couldn't retake the photo, so this fake smile issue followed them forever. Genuinely ridiculous was when our HR team implemented a system requiring employees to explain why they wanted to use the bathroom, what they planned to do there, and how long they'd be gone. Bathroom breaks became interrogation sessions. One employee just started peeing at their desk to avoid the humiliation. The worst policy happened when HR made it mandatory for all employees to have their kids called during work to read bedtime stories at 4 p.m. regardless of work schedule or job type. This was supposedly family-friendly policy. If you didn't have a kid calling, HR thought you were neglectful. I cannot believe HR scheduled mandatory fun activities but made them unpaid work time. People had to stay late for team building events but weren't compensated. When someone calculated the wage theft, HR said team unity was compensation enough. This particular HR decision involved banning all music, humming, and sound in the office, except for HR-approved motivational audio played constantly. Employees had to listen to corporate wellness podcasts on repeat. Bringing headphones to escape it got you written up for being antisocial. What really got me was HR creating a rule that people couldn't take more than 2 weeks vacation per year, but had to use it or lose it. Taking actual time off counted against your dedication score. So employees had to take vacation they didn't want or lose the days. One company's HR decided employees couldn't have plants at their desks because plants required water breaks and water breaks reduced productivity. The logic was circular and stupid, but they enforced it by removing anyone's desk plants. Dead office environments were apparently more productive. I watched HR implement a strange system where employees had to bid on their preferred work hours like an auction every quarter. Less senior people never won good hours. This created chaos and constant bidding wars. When employees asked why hours couldn't just be set normally, HR said competitive bidding built engagement. Someone got in trouble with HR for coming to work while visibly depressed even though they were managing it fine. HR said their facial expression was affecting team morale, so they sent them home without pay. They essentially punished someone for being human and having bad days. This happened, HR banned all snacks at desks and threw away anyone's personal food they found. But they didn't provide lunch or allow proper breaks. Employees had to eat at their desks according to old rules or throw away their lunches according to new rules. Both couldn't be simultaneously true, but HR insisted both applied. The craziest thing involved HR requiring all employees to take personality tests, then assigning work tasks based on results. Introverts were assigned extra meetings because HR said they needed to build social skills. Extroverts were stuck at computer work. Job skills didn't matter, personality type did. I'm baffled that HR created a dress code where women had to wear heels and makeup but men could wear sneakers. When men complained about unfair standards, HR said women naturally cared about appearance more. When women complained, HR said it was about professionalism. Here's one nobody believes. Our HR team gave employees performance reviews based entirely on how much they liked working with that person, rather than actual work quality. A terrible worker who was friends with HR got outstanding reviews. Great workers who were quiet got poor ratings based on likability. Someone actually got fired for taking maternity leave because HR said leaving for a baby showed lack of commitment. They hired her replacement before she even gave birth. When she tried returning, they said the position was filled. The company got sued, but HR claimed they were protecting business continuity. I cannot explain why HR decided all employees needed to share their weekend plans every Monday morning in detail. Work time was consumed by personal updates. If you had a boring weekend, HR asked invasive follow-up questions about why your life was uninteresting. The absolute worst was when HR implemented a system where they could instantly terminate anyone for reasons they didn't have to disclose. Employment became completely insecure. People could come in and suddenly have no job without explanation. This was supposedly protecting company interests. Someone spent 6 months working on a project, then HR reassigned all credit to a different department right before presentations. The project team didn't even get mentioned. When they asked why their work was stolen, HR said it was about what's best for the company. I watched HR create a promotion system where they only promoted people who had previously taken executive coaching classes that cost thousands of dollars out of pocket. Talented people couldn't advance without paying for coaching. Rich employees got promoted while skilled poor employees stagnated. This absolutely happened. HR implemented a rule saying employees couldn't discuss their salaries even with spouses because confidentiality was important. People couldn't tell their own family members what they earned. HR was hiding wage gaps behind privacy violations. Here's the thing, our HR team worked 4-day weeks while requiring all other employees to work full weeks without option. HR said they needed work-life balance, but everyone else didn't deserve it. The hypocrisy was stunning, and nobody could question it. Someone got marked down on their evaluation for smiling too much because HR said it looked unprofessional. A different person got marked down for not smiling enough. There was literally no correct facial expression. HR was just making things up to feel powerful. I experienced HR creating a policy where employees had to get approval to use the bathroom during meetings, but HR members could leave anytime. Basic dignity had hierarchy. Only important people got to take care of biological needs whenever they needed. The wildest thing happened when HR required all employees to shave daily because stubble looked unprofessional. Women had to shave legs, underarms, and faces daily. Men had to be completely clean-shaven. One employee with a medical condition preventing shaving got written up constantly. Someone's entire department got reorganized just because HR didn't like how the previous manager ran things. The manager was doing great work, but HR had personality conflicts with them. Instead of addressing HR's issues, the company restructured everything to appease HR's feelings. I cannot believe HR implemented a social credit system where employees earned or lost points based on how much they participated in company events, how they dressed, and how they spoke. Low scores resulted in fewer benefits and no promotions. This was basically a dictatorship. What really happened was HR creating a rule that employees couldn't eat anything with strong smells despite working in a regular office. No garlic, no onions, no spices at all. Someone's cultural food got banned from the workplace. When they argued, HR said it was about respecting everyone's sense of smell.